Great. So, really pleased to welcome Carola, Michael, and Matvei. And the material these guys are going to present to us is off the back of a journal article. And this is part of our endeavour to get engagement, good engagement between the Cybernetics Society Journal, Enacting Cybernetics, and what we do as a society, so these Cybernetics live events. So I will so structure of today is we'll let these guys present. So that will take sort of 30 to 40-ish minutes. If you have any burning clarification questions, by all means, put those in chat and raise your hand during the presentation. But that's really just for burning clarification questions. If you're kind of really blocked on a particular term that's being used or something like that. Any other questions? Please, if you could hold those over till we start the Q&A section. And if you could write the question in Q&A, in chat, and then raise your hand. It just gives the presenters a bit of a heads up to read it in written form, and then have a bit of a think about response before we get to that part of the discussion. So when we get to Q&A, if you could write it in chat first and then raise your hand, that would be brilliant. That would be really helpful. Great. So at this point, I shall pass across to Carola, Michael, and Matvei.
Much for your kind invitation, and I will now share the screen with you. Okay, that didn't work once again.
It popped up momentarily. And if everybody could go on mute, that would be brilliant. Yeah, that's coming through.
Okay, just to presentation mode and then one moment. I'm struggling with the toolbar. Okay, now. Okay, now can you see the first slide? Yeah, okay. Yeah, then welcome to the presentation of our paper. We had, or our idea was management cybernetics as a framework to implement lean management in companies of different industries. Yeah, as yeah, your colleague already told you, we have a short introduction then, which we already had, then now the presentation of the paper. It's first, I will do the first introduction, then my colleague Michael will present his case study from the construction industry, then myself about mechanical engineering, and then Matvei will do the same for the healthcare branch, and in the end we will have a quick summary of the findings of the 3 case studies and in general, and then we have our Q&A section and some room for discussion. Yeah, just about about the 3 persons, about the authors of the paper. Starting with Michael, he has a master's degree in civil engineering and business law, and more than 15 years experience in construction industry, especially mega projects. What exactly a mega project is, he will tell you in his case study, and he has also published I think 6 or 7 books on this topic, as well as a lot of very interesting papers. So that's worth to have an eye on. Then Matvei Tobman, he is as well IT specialist and surgeon at a hospital in Bavaria, and as well he is risk officer and lean manager at this hospital. So there all these very interesting topics are joining together. And he has also some very interesting blog articles on LinkedIn on lean and the viable system model. Yeah, and for me, I have a master's degree in lean operations management and integrated management systems. And in my business life, I'm strategy and sustainability manager and organizational developer in a mechanical engineering company where I have made my case study. And following up to the case study, I'm now doing a part-time PhD on organizational control and cybernetic key performance indicator systems. Okay, so then to our paper. What is the general problem or the problems we are addressing? It's the increasing complexity in the different industries, the insecurities, a lot of dynamic things. We have things like the shortage of skilled labor. We have a lot of competition nationally and internationally. Here in Germany, we have the problem that we have very high wages, which we are struggling with. We have an aging population. We have a lot of young people who prefer going to university than working in other jobs, and of the new generations, they have a different attitude to work. And these are things we are struggling with. Yeah, and so we need lean company structures to have an eye on the expenses, and we have to be very responsible with our resources because of sustainability and because of material prices as well. Yeah, and then one of the problem is as well, if you implement lean management in a company, a lot of these transformation projects, they fail, or if they are implemented, the performance is not as expected. And now we thought that maybe a solution could be to combine lean management, because lean tools can ensure the efficiency, and the viable system model, which gives a structural basis and ensures the effectiveness. And yeah, we had these 3 case studies, and yeah, and then in the end we compared what we discovered, and we discovered that there are some things which are very similar, although the industries are very different. Yeah, that's a bit about the theory, why the VSM, why the viable system model, because it has a holistic perspective on systems and on complex systems. For us, it's a very clear model, and it has clear concepts and laws. For us, it is flexible, and it is scalable, and it can react to changes in the environment. As you can see here on the figure from the viable system, you see this shape on the left side, which are the environments and which are changing all the time. So you have the dynamic, and it can handle this, and it's adaptable to change. This is very good, and it's more than a long-term solution. Especially in lean management, you go for this, it's called low-hanging fruit, so things you can do very quickly, quick successes, and the viable system model is for a long-term solution, so you have combined it. And you can combine the viable system model with other tools as well. Especially for me, I have used a lot of tools and models from the quality management. Yeah, and now why the combination? Because we have found that traditional structures in companies, as you know it, they are becoming more and more ineffective, and that we have a need to anchor these lean tools in the organization, which can do the viable system model. Lean realizes the operational implementation of the viable system model, and it is perfect to have to shape these and to show these informational organizational structures. If you have a normal organizational chart, you have always these fixed boxes, and we know in real-time business it's completely different. Yeah, and there we are. Now the presentation of the first case study from the construction industry, and I now will hand over to my colleague Michael, and he will present you what he found out about construction industry and viable system model and lean. Michael, it's your stage.
Thank you, Carola. You can hear me?
Yeah.
Okay. My voice is a little bit damaged because of a cold, so I don't want to talk too much. Carola, I still see you.
Okay.
Okay. No problem. Okay. Yes, I will talk about the tunneling project where I was the head of civil engineering in planning and realization, and which is the basis of this case study. And I'm not a consultant. I'm the project. I'm the project leader or just head of civil. And this was a major project with approximately costs of 300 million euros. And some informations here. We have approximately 15 persons in the administration or in the management. Management is the better word, and 150 employees in the industrial work. And yes, we used Lean. Lean was there before I came to the project, and then I bring with me the management cybernetics. Yes, next, Carola, please. As this is the project, it's a large tunnel, and we started from the top and headed downwards into the valley where you can see this bridge. And can I have do I have a cursor or something? No. So the tunnel had a length of approximately 3 miles, and the geology was demanding because we had a lot of water, and we had karstic structures. I don't know if you know the word karstic. Cavities. We had a lot of cavities in the geology, and in tunneling, cavities are dangerous because they can be filled with water and risky. Yes, and at the place where these bridges, which called Filztalbrücke in German, there was also a motorway with approximately 70,000 vehicles a day. So this is the project, and planning was about 5 years, and realization of the structural work was about 3 years. Next, please. Yes. So this was my home for 3 years, is the site, the construction site, and we are starting from this area, and we are starting every time when we are starting such a project, we are starting from the green field. There is nothing when we come there, and this is the main difference between a stationary factory and our work. We are unstationary, and yes, I just want to introduce you to this site because it is very important. Pity that I have no cursor or something. On the right side, you see the management where I was, and the several engineers and geologists and so on. And then you see the several heading points where we going into the ground. Yes, the heading 1 and heading 2. It's a twin tunnel for high-speed railway, and you see the conveyor belt for the material. We transported all the material with this conveyor belt out. You see our concrete factory. You see our interim storage for excavation, and you see the motorway. And we built also a direct connection from our side to the motorway. On the motorway, we have, as I said, 15 to 70,000 vehicles, and I have about 200 trucks a day added to this to get the excavation away. So, in my opinion, what you will see here, very good. You see good the management, you see good the production, and you see good the environment. So on one layer, and that's it. And the fact that is unstationary. So, and yes. And what is important, my role was the project leader from the owner company with my team. So I'm from Warman company, and the building and the planning work was done by the contractor. It's near other company from other mother company. And then also there was a supervision, which is very important in tunneling, because tunneling is very risky, and it's also from another company, and a lot of subcontractors. But I will mention them because too much. So we have three main companies which have to work together. So next slide, please. Okay, a little bit more tunneling. Yes, I don't know how deep you are in tunneling. I don't think so deep, but it's my profession, so I will give you a little bit information. So this method is a shotcrete method, a drill and blast. We did drill and blast, and we call this method New Austrian Tunneling Method. And we did the heading in staggered phases. So you see in the picture, which is and we had a lot of exploration to the karstic and the water, and yes, always a topic of security, and also of technical possibilities and financial issues, and yes, and it's like this. You are doing the outer lining with shotcrete and the inner lining with in situ concrete. So that's enough technical things now. Next slide. Yes, and that's the point where I came out. You see, direct in the valley with a big bridge and a motorway. There we have the breakthrough after approximately 3 years. That's the project, and my job was planning and building this thing. Nobody told me that there is a lot of complexity, there are a lot of interfaces, and there are a lot of, I will say, non-alignment of the companies. So next. And I was team 3. And then the construction company, as I said before, and the supervision, the main players. And these, the main 3 dominant companies on this side, which had never worked together. So, and they have their own agendas, their own goals. I was faced as the head of this project, I was faced with a lot of complexity due to technical and financial issues, and I found it no alignment or really less alignment of these three companies. No control in a sense of viable system model, I will say, and no thinking about building an organization which is built out of these three companies. Next picture, please. And the project was in 2014, and I had contact with the VSM in 2009, and I had this in my pocket. I liked it very much, and there I was in the position to use it and create it because I was responsible, and I just did it. I I used it to, as you can see, the red one was the owner company, the blue one was the contractor company, and the green one was the supervision company. And I would like to say I built a new company which doesn't exist, and I build it on the understanding of the necessary functions and connections, which offers me the VSM. So that's the background, and I just use it, and I don't did a starting workshop or something else. I just said we are doing this, I need this function, I want this, and so that how it happens. So, and it was a good thing because nobody asked me, hey Michael, why are you doing this? So I just did it, and it works. So it works really good. I come to this later. And normally as a civil engineer, my job is to invest really a lot in technical issues, but I found it out that it is also important to become a good performance or a great performance, to invest a lot of in organizational issues. So and in this, as you can see at the right line where system 2 is, I invested really a lot in coordination because I found it out that these projects produce really a lot of complexity through interfaces, for example, and I can face this complexity, for example, with with really a strong coordination. And for this coordination, a lot of resources are necessary, and I had these resources. I can use these, and the other thing, not only with the coordination, also with the other functions and channels, they build alignment, and that point was really great. This is the thing with the VSM, and yes, lean was there before. Lean, I would like to say 2-3 sentences about lean, not too much. Lean helps me to establish a cooperative culture. So that was good, but nothing more. And in this case, it fits really good with the VSM. But I think yes, the VSM is very fits good with a lot of approaches. So I think this is not so. Okay, that's about in conclusion, through the connections and the functionality I wanted in my organization, and through the point that I saw these three companies as one system and not as three systems, there emerged a lot of alignment and self-organization, and this was really good for the performance. So next, please. So what I also did, I had to do a lot of technical and financial and security decisions. really a lot, and I had a lot of meetings every day, 3-4 meetings with a lot of people, and it's really hard because you often don't have the time to go deep in the topics because the day just have 24 hours. So and so I every 2 or 3 months I approved these meetings and modeled them and looked which meetings are important for me and or important, no, not for me, are important for the system, are important for the system, which hierarchy in the meetings, in the information flow and decision flow I need, and on which hierarchy I need which decision. And so I also worked with this element a little bit, and this also works relatively good for me. Yes, so no of my other colleagues did this. I only did this, and yes. So next, please. Yes, and this is the day of the breakthrough. You see me on the, I think on the left side, the younger guy. I'm younger than now, 10 years or so on this picture. And on the right side is my father. Always a proud moment when you go and you have a breakthrough. We have no dangerous issue on this side, and the breakthrough was 6 months ahead of schedule. So, and I don't want to say it's just about the VSM, but the VSM plays, in my opinion, or not in my opinion, in my observation, because I was there, plays a big role. So, and yes, that's my case construction. Thank you, Carola. Next.
Okay, thank you, Michael. Now you have learned a bit about tunneling, and now I will take you with me to the company I'm working at. It's about mechanical engineering. I did this case study, and as I already mentioned, it's an ongoing project because I'm working on my dissertation about organizational management using cybernetic key figure systems. Yeah, we are a medium-sized mechanical engineering company with 300 employees. And we discovered that this normal hierarchical structure is not working so good anymore. And so my boss decided to give my idea about transforming it into a viable system model, or it's a hybrid system, to give it a go. And so we tried it. And now I will show you how we are working with this. Yeah, the initial situation, we are doing large parts machining. As you can see, this part here on the machine, it's about 12 meters long and about weighing about 30 tons. And we're doing only single parts or a variant production, so no mass production. Normally, when you implement lean, you're serial to have serial production or mass production, so it's completely different. And we have no own product. We are producing chipping parts and complete machines and so on for our customers, but no, we have no own product, and we are supplying this to 10 different industries with very different norms and laws and regulations. And there are some industries which are very strict with their norms, like defense industry, nuclear industry, and the semiconductor industry. As I already mentioned, at the moment we have 300 employees, and just to give you an idea about the standards which we have to look at, it's about 280 standards and about 323 company standards from our customers, which we have to look at when we are doing our projects. And that we can do this, we have a lot of different certifications like quality management, environmental management, occupational health and safety, but as well standards for welding and so on. Yeah, the environment of the case study. So you can see this little black guy running up the stairs, and this is a symbol for the company. And you see all these bubbles. These are the things we should do. We should go for health promotion for our employees. We have a teaching and training mission. For our young talents, which we have, we should care about environmental protection, about sustainability, because we are using a lot of electricity. We should have a lot of different certifications which our customers ask for. And we have quality management established since 1998. Which is a quite long time. Environmental management we added in 2022. And in 2015, just a year before I joined the company, they started with some lean projects, and they had external support to do this. But as the external support ended the contract with the company, it doesn't work so well. And then we started the Viable System Transformation Project in 2016. Yeah, and why we did this? Because we had a lot of customer requirements. We had more competition with other reporting and other obligations. Sustainability, I already mentioned. Supply chain, we have now. The EU is discussing about this supply chain. What we wanted to reach was, you see this little a viable company. We want to cover the need for skilled workers from our own training. We wanted to be an attractive employer. We wanted an A-rated supplier, which is very important for us. It makes working easier if you have good, if you're good rated, if you're high rated. We want to be a strong competitor. We want our customers to be happy with our products. We want to have a unique position, which is on the one hand this very huge part with high accuracy, and on the other side we have this complete machines where we do the chipping, painting, assembly, and all this stuff from one hand. We want the company to steadily grow in a healthy kind, because at the moment here in Germany we have a problem or big problems with the economy. A lot of companies have to get rid of workers, or they have short working periods and so on, and we don't want to have this. So this is very important for us. Yeah, and then here are the objectives, what we wanted to reach with this transformation. Yeah, we want a better handling of this complexity. We want to have an organization, even if the competition is there, to have a better strategy integration in all our systems, not only the strategy from the general management, but to have it integrated in all systems, especially in our systems one. We wanted that all employees are committed to the values of the company, and especially the control of the increasing complexity. And as well, we wanted to have our resources, that the resources are fitting to the demands of our customers. So that's about economy as well. Yeah, so how we tried to do it, or what was the approach? So we wanted to have a review system. So the system 3-star, you see it in the new organizational structure. It's the yellow one. This is very important for us because we don't have an own product. So we always have to check on the quality if we are everything our customers are looking for. So for us, this audit channel is important. Then we want to have a constant impetus for improvement. So this is something where the viable system model and the quality management are working very good together, because quality management is always looking for continuous improvement, and the viable system model keeps this going because of this system 3-star. Yeah, then we want to build up our knowledge management, because on one hand we have a lot of young workers and we have a lot of workers which are in the company now for 30 years or more. So they are going or heading to retirement, and we want to conserve the knowledge that have built up during the years for our young and not so skilled workers. Yeah, what's very important is the adaptation to the changing requirements and environment, because at the moment a lot of is changing here in the economy. If you have a look at automotive industry, there are a lot of things changing. Then we are engaged in the nuclear industry, and there we had to do some changes as well, because here in Germany we don't have any running nuclear power plants. So we have a certification for dismantling the power plants as well, to be able to work in this industry. And what was very important, that this strategy we are having, that we want to integrate it in our daily business. Yeah, so the idea was to combine a structure based on the viable system model and the communication based on the viable system model, and add these lean tools. And this can you see in this picture in the middle. So you have a kind of organizational structure. I know the viable system model is not an organizational chart, but we have customers which say we do have an organizational chart. So this is something we have done because of our customers. And you can see we have 3 different strategic branches, these 3 pictures, and we have added lean tools, and these are in these blue boxes. There we have different things. So what we did first, we first defined our strategic business units. Here on this picture you can see 3. At the moment we have 4 different, so it was a very long process, I think about 2 or 3 years, until we figured out what are the right strategic business units for us, even if we are looking in the future, and the definition of our systems 1. Because we have a system 1 must be viable without the other systems as well. Our systems 1, they can stand alone, and they are suppliers and customers to each other, which is a very complex system as well. Yeah, then we discovered that some system elements of the viable system model were missing, and we had to set up these system elements. And we discovered before that some of the communication loops were not closed. So there was information missing on some places, and that's always where problems occur if the communication is not running smoothly. So we have now these closed communication loops. And then we added lean tools where it makes sense for us. I don't know how much you know about lean management, but there is one tool in lean management. It's called SMET. It's a short word for single minute exchange of die. So the idea is, if you are die casting, you just need a time period with single minutes to exchange these die forms. And so it means that you can set up your machines very, very quickly. And you can imagine, if you have parts like you have seen in the first picture with 30 tons and 12 meters long, you can't set up parts like this in just 9 minutes maximum. That's not possible. So for us, we have to change some of these lean things to make it fitting for us. Yeah, and how can we steer with this and how can we measure this. So you see this little, it's an extract of an Excel file, and there we have in total 10 different criteria with like here we have cost, date, risk, handling effort, qualification, management of the project, and so on. And there we have these different key performance indicators. And depending on the key performance indicators, we have these different complexity levels. And with the complexity level, we can pick the fitting skilled workers, the fitting machinery, and so on. Yeah. What was first? You can see this structure. Yeah, in the middle above, this is our viable system model organizational chart. We have based it on the viable system model because we have some customers who really want an organizational chart. And then we discovered when you take this organizational chart and tilt it for 90 degrees to the left, you see you have all your processes. Like you see on the right side, you have the management processes, which are the white ones. You have all the support processes like warehousing and so on, which are these pale pink ones. Then where the magic happens, so the systems one are the blue and green ones, where you have the management and the added value. And for us, very important, below our test processes is the system, it's from the system 3-star from the audit channel. Yeah, and as I said, we will always have an hybrid organizational structure. We will not have a very open structure because it's not possible because of the needs of our customers. And then from this process map, we had the change for before we had job descriptions, which are very strict. You have this one sheet of paper and there are the descriptions, what I have to do. And now we have role descriptions, and these role descriptions are derived from the different processes. So I have some of of a role description. You see, point 1, it comes from the management processes. These are the values, the visions, and the objectives of the company. And so I should know what are the values of Yelva, what are the visions. And in ideal, my visions and my values are nearly the same than my company. And so it's the same with the business, the test, and the support processes. Yeah, what's the actual status you can see now? So this is our complete, this is the modeling of the complete company now in a 3D model. We have called it the Organiplastic. We used 3D software to model it, and we are now linking it with our ERP software and the other software we have in the company. And for me, this is very important. I want to have organizational charts for different ones for every project. So if I just need the milling or the turning part, all other departments will be pale gray. And what I now do, what is ongoing further than the case study, that I will have a look at this key figures and the key figure dashboard, and I will prove, hopefully, that if I use the viable system model for setting up a company like this, it's good for the people and for the work performance as well. Okay. So at the moment, enough for me, and I now will hand over to Matvei, who will present his case study in healthcare.
Hello. The framework to case study, I'm working as a risk manager now. I'm surgeon and informatica. We have a hospital in the last 15 years. We are grown. We have for 15 years, we have only one hospital. Now we are concerned from 5 hospitals. And this complexity make us a problem. This problem is the topic of the case study. I'm a surgeon. I don't like theory. I cut and I go directly to the case study. This is the next slide. Yes. Lean management tools are also used in hospitals. However, they are often applied as a single method, such as shop floor management. Processes in hospitals are highly complex and branched that make it difficult to transfer experience from industry, such a case as Carola reported to healthcare sector. For example, emergency department cannot reject patients, so such tools like Hijunka leveling can only be applied there to a limited extent.
Oh, Matvei, got one or
Yes.
two messages in chat. People are struggling a little bit with quiet sound. If it's possible to speak up a bit,
Can you hear me? It is better.
that's better. Thank you.
Okay. Processes in hospitals are highly complex. There are also limitations for other lean methods, as hospitals are often dominated of individual specializations, and silos that treat different patient groups and frequently lack common goals, even though they share common capacity, common resources such as operating theaters and intensive care units. They also rely on the same structures as purchasing departments and pharmacy services. These unique characteristics of hospitals make interface problems particularly relevant, as these interfaces often create hurdles for interdepartmental processes. I would like to begin with a real case of adverse event. In this case, an unsolvable problem um, arose shortly for the operation. The surgeon, he was a non-resident doctor, had ordered the necessary instruments and implants from two external firms without involving the hospital's purchasing department. He arranged a direct delivery with two lending companies. One of the companies delivered on time, but the second one had mistakenly booked an incorrect delivery date. When the doctor called the responsible employee in the operating theater the day before, the delivery were confirmed. However, the problem was the employee in the operating theater was unaware of what had actually been ordered. As a result, the doctor assumed that both deliveries had arrived. We analyzed this case in detail. That is this swim lane diagram. The green arrows on the swim lane diagram indicate several problem areas, highlighting that all stakeholders were involved, from the ordering surgeon and purchasing department to the surgical nurse in the operating theater. Please, the next slide. Yes. The next one. This was with stream value stream analysis. They have this one. Yes, this one. The value stream analysis chart was created. It reveals an interruption in the information flow and the decoupling of information flow from material flow. Additionally, multiple information systems and communication channels were used, including phone calls, ordering systems of the lending company, and WhatsApp for checking delivery status of instruments and implants. Then we have made a process analysis. You see the charts right down and detailed data collection. While the particular problem causes were identified, the root cause remains unclear. To continue monitor patient flow and quality of preoperative preparation, a Kanban board was installed in the operating theater. Please see the slide with the Kanban. Yes, this one. Staff at the operating theater entrance checked the preoperative documentation and checklists for completeness, documents deviation, and have documented deviations on Kanban cards. All deficiencies were collected, allowing us to identify other colleagues whose patients might face similar issues. But we have seen another problem. Please, the next one. Yes, that's a chart of a plan of the operations theater with 7 operation rooms. We also observed another issue, highly unstable processes in the operating theater, where urgent surgeries had to be integrated into an elective program. The arrows on the operating theater plan in the diagram illustrate how patients were moved from a scheduled operating room to another available room. Furthermore, the duration of many operations could not be reliably planned. This created significant stress in daily operations and made daily process management a complicated task. Despite gathering extensive data, identifying sources of errors, and implementing countermeasures, the improvements were only temporary. Over time, processes reverted to old patterns, and our efforts to resolve new problems were unsuccessful. While lean tools modified processes, the largest structural issues remained unchanged. We have identified the following problems: areas of responsibility with rigid, impermeable boundaries, gray areas without clear responsibility, and lack of organizational structures. As this case demonstrates, lean tools in hospital can optimize individual processes and resolve specific issues. However, due to fragmented, silo-dominated corporate structure with different standards, requirements, and ordering routines, such departments as purchasing and operating theater quickly reach their capacity limits. The underlying reasons is that each clinic and each department has its own specific needs and routines that cannot be directly influenced by other department heads. Consequently, many interdisciplinary processes remain fragmented. Please, the next slide. Yes. The next step was to analyze the top management level of the company. The hospital group's expansion from a single hospital to a network of hospitals also led to changes in management structure. Many new divisions were created, but they didn't necessitate independent management positions. Instead, existing managers took on these new roles. This resulted in an organizational structure as shown in the diagram here, where hierarchical role conflicts emerged. For example, the green manager sometimes acts as superior to the orange one, and in other time reports to him. This creates an interesting dynamic. Those in the higher hierarchical position tend to move upwards, which in some cases can create a management vacuum. Please, the next slide. The VSM analysis was then used to examine an impact of this management model, 3-4 homeostat. We have used viable system as diagnostic tool. We are also physicians. The key question was why process-oriented lean method only led to short-term improvements. This management structure leads to power vacuum at lower recursion level because managers tend to prioritize their goals according to their highest level in the hierarchy when making decisions. This phenomenon is rooted in the traditional culture of many German hospitals. Historically, hospitals were managed at the middle level by 3 senior staff members: the managing director, nursing director, and medical director. However, when multiple hospitals merged in our concern, an additional higher management level was not introduced. Instead, existing management structures were merely restructured. Lower level management tasks were delegated to central services, and operational units management to chief physicians. However, resource planning, accountability allocation, so bargain resource and now accountability channel in VSM, and the authority to issue corrective orders, corporate intervention in VSM, remained within the former operational management, which took over the function of System 4 in the new organization. As a result, efficient management structures could not develop. This led to a phenomenon I call strain damage, analogous to nerve damage from severe trauma, where System 3 and 4 merged upwards. At the same time, a substitute System 3 emerged from the senior staff of subordinated operational units, from chief physicians. As a result, senior clinical staff in departments experienced immense pressure. They were responsible for both patient care, System 1 in VSM, and substituting System 3 function at the recursion level 0. Given their primary duty to patient care, they allocated human and time resources accordingly, treating higher level tasks as secondary. This further exacerbated the strain damage, weakening system cohesion. Additionally, an effective cross-clinical System 2 was not adapted to the corporate structure. Instead, it remained based on the policies, workflows, and decision-making routines of individual operation units. As we made these analyses, we have understood that our efforts must be took to build the System 3 Asterix and System 2, but to System 2. Our efforts to use lean management on the fragmented processes wasn't efficient, as the silos in the organization were too strong. We have formulated some findings. The first and the important one is that an imbalance between vertical and horizontal variety in the system threatening viability of the whole organization. Without intervention, the entire organization will stabilize itself by reducing horizontal variety. For example, through closing organizational units or entire hospitals. Continued pressure on System 3 substitute may lead to the failure of multiple System 1 management levels. For example, department heads would resign. Developing an effective operational management level, System 3 in VSM can resolve many issues. System 3 Asterix must be developed at the corporate level and integrated into operational management. The next is a strategy for specialization and closer cooperation among hospitals is needed to realize synergies. Expanding the System 3 and 4 homeostat and designing a transparent management system with operational goals aligned with strategic objectives is necessary. Developing a strong System 2 with rules, procedures, standards, and conventions at the corporate level can improve the coordination and system cohesion. This case study shows that while lean methods were effective for clinical risk management and process improvement, their impact remained limited when not implemented across the entire organization. Changes in management structures, new interfaces, and emerging gray zones with unclear responsibilities hindered the effectiveness. VSM provided a valuable framework for systematic analysis, identifying structural, functional, and informational issues. Following VSM diagnosis, lean tools can support the implementation and maintenance of solution. Interestingly, this VSM analysis also sheds light on the effect of Germany's ongoing healthcare reform. Over the past 20 years, many small hospitals have introduced new treatment methods and expanded specialized departments under the influence of DRG system without modernizing their management structures or adopting modern management principles such as lean. This has created an imbalance between the vertical and horizontal variety that this contributes to a wave of insolvencies currently affected smaller hospitals in Germany. I hope you have understood that I don't often my presentation in English. It was a little bit difficult. I have tried to make the best.
No, that's great. Thank you, Matvei. No, brilliant description. We did notice one or two of the slides you couldn't read the text, but we thought that was probably conscious because of sensitivities around one or two bits of the data.
Okay, then Matvei already did a short wrap up, but on the following 2 or 3 slides, you have the case study findings, maybe for those who don't want to read the whole paper. So I will do it for Michael and Matvei as well. Construction industry just condensed the viable system model and lean construction. They were combined very well. The information architecture was created on the VSM, as Michael indicated. It did not exist before, so he could set up as this. And the viable system model had provided the functions like information channel, feedback, and the management of the variety. Yeah, he already mentioned the gain of half a year time, but he already said that it's not only because of the viable system model, but the viable system model and the lean tools, they contributed to this time gain. Bottlenecks could resolve through the viable system model, and it's shaping a cooperative collaboration between the workers and the different companies working together. And yeah, as takeaway, that lean and viable system model is very good suited for the interaction of large temporary organizations with different actors. Yeah, then for the mechanical engineering, for my part, we had suspected that our system has some pathologies, and we could prove this by using the viable system model as diagnostic tool. We could reach a better link between strategies, the values from the company and our customers to our operations, which was not so good before and which could be improved. We changed from job descriptions to the role profiles, as I already showed you before, and this is closer to the reality, and it's more flexibility as well, because before the people always addressed to this one sheet of paper, and if it's not indicated what I should do there, then I don't have to do it. And now with the role profiles, you have a lot of more space. Yeah, we discovered that the viable system model structure, we have no more departments. We have now systems, and now there's not a dividing line between lean design, lean production, lean logistics, and lean administration. You can see these dividing lines, and so now it's just lean management, and we think that's an improvement as well. Yeah, and sometimes the viable system model is not so, yeah, it's so easy to understand if you don't work every day with it, and these lean methods help to operationalize the viable system model. We have a better anchoring of lean in our company now with the viable system model, and we could improve our continuous improvement process and the tool setup process. Yeah, we don't need so much time now for this, and we have a better engagement rate with the continuous improvement. Yeah, then for healthcare, as Matvei already mentioned, yeah, he thinks that lean methods are very good for this clinical risk management, which he works with as well. That the lean methods contributed to the analysis, as he said, and the solution of problems which are related to some of the processes, and that the quality management could be developed better now. Yeah, as well, the framework which the viable system provides, and that now with the viable system model, the measures can be better implemented and maintained through the lean tools which were implemented. Yeah, I think Matvei has already mentioned a lot of this, and just to wrap it up once again, what we think, what our paper or the different case studies show, that we could answer some of the questions which that would have remained unanswered without the combination of these two models. The combination promotes discussion and decision-making within the system, which is often a problem. They support each other. The viable system model is ensuring the effectiveness, and the efficiency is coming from the lean tools. Both support the achievement of projects, of companies, and to better reach the goals. And we think that this combination is very well suited for working with complexity and dynamics and making it better manageable in an even changing environment. Yeah, so we've took a little more time than expected, but thank you very much. I hope you found it interesting. I think there are some questions in the chat, and now I'm curious about the question, and I'm looking forward to a discussion. Thank you.
Brilliant, and thank you, Carola, Michael, and Matvei. Three really good examples, and I think really fascinating the VSM and lean together, because operating in environments, you generally have a plethora of different approaches and tools. So it's really interesting the insights you've given in terms of the two together. Thank you. I'll go to Margaret first. So Margaret, do you want to just pitch your question verbally as well?
Yes, of course. So the question was how you made use of the algedonic signals for your 3 use cases. Because I saw nothing to do with any of that information in the presentation. So I was just curious. Thank you.
So maybe if I can start, we have set up, it's a kind of chat tool, like maybe you know WhatsApp. And it's especially for our workers and people working on the machine, if they have a problem, an issue, if there is a tool breakage or something like this. Normally before, they had to run around in the company and look for the guys who can do the fixing and stuff. And now we have this WhatsApp function, and then they can from their machine, they can take photos as well and send it to the fitting department. And this is the problem. This is broken, and so the guys can put their material together, and they're coming to the machine. They have the material, and we have seen that the repair times have gone low now, and the same works for our project managers. We have some office areas where all the project managers are located, but often they have to join together with the production stuff, and this works as well. So they're writing on the chat, we have a problem at this machine, at this project, can we please meet in 30 minutes? And that's often far more easier than on the phone, because the people running around, you can catch them by phone. They don't hear the phone because it's very loud in the workshop, and this works very good for us. And as well, we're working up to 3 shifts, so the morning, the afternoon, and night shift. And it's not so easy, because night shift, they want to go home early, and we've seen if the people talking together, a lot of information is going missing. And they have now a digital shift book where they can write what was wrong, were there problems, were there weird sounds from the machine and all this stuff. And we have a very good documentation now about this, because the worker who is coming in the morning has now the possibility to read all these notes, and you have a better information, and it's a lasting information. Before you had just these little sticky notes or something like this, and they're getting lost or dirty or something in this, and now they're stored in the file or files for the project. So we can look it up afterwards, and we have these lessons learned as well, because if we have a similar project, we are looking at all these notes. So Margaret, I hope this is in the direction you ask.
Sorry, I was on mute. Yeah, Michael, Matvei, if there's anything you guys wanted to add from your case studies, yeah, brilliant, please do.
Okay, I would like to add something from tunneling. When you do the tunneling, you work in 2 shifts, every time 12 hours. So you are working the whole day and the whole night, and you have 3 shifts. One day is working at day, one day one is working in the daytime, one is working in the nighttime, and the third is on holiday. So, and always 10 days. So, and yes, and we had a lot in tunneling. We had a lot of algedonic signals because we had a lot of security issues. So, and wherein I grown up as an engineer in tunneling, I learned that I always have to sleep when we are in tunneling with my smartphone or with my mobile next to me, because when I was called in the night at 3 o'clock, Michael, we have a problem with the water, then I have to go to the site and we have to talk with the people. So the algedonic signals must be totally direct, and everybody on the site has I'm not the most important person, but everybody has my number or the other number from the important people. And I worked really a lot. I worked at daytime, and I was really often waked up in the night or at the weekend because there was something happening, and this must work. And if the algedonic signals don't work, not especially in an organizational matter, but in the production process matter, and then you have a big problem. So that's the where we have also systems like Carola explained it, but this is the main difference. So you have always be reachable as a person who have to do a decision. So yes, that's in my case.
Matvei?
The hospital, there are algedonic channels as such as a critical incident reporting system and so on. And I have a happily position as a risk manager. After the analysis, I try to connect all the information channel on risk management and to analyze them. And I have the direct connection to the CIO and senior management. We try to solve the problems as 3 asterisk system, as audits. We try to gain information and give information to the decision makers, and we try to build our quality management system. We produce a lot of standards, SOPs, and so on. That is our job as risk management. We are the algedonic channel. Sorry. It's So, also,
Hello? Yep.
critical incident reporting system is clear. It's a information system for reports about adverse events. It's all about patient safety, employee safety, and so on. That is the Algedonic channel, and I'm the employee that I make it. Yes.
Cool. Thank you. Thank you, Matvei. Cool. Thank you, Audrey and Margaret, for the question. Actually, I'll go to I'll give you guys a minute or two just to look at Jose's question. In the meantime, Michael, I'll just ask one of my questions, which was you'd mentioned about there'd been good alignment, good self-organization. I was just curious about the relationship of those behaviors to lean and to VSM. Which was influencing which and in which direction?
Okay. Lean, in my observation, focus on cooperation. So, and if you cooperate with others, I will say this can eat a lot of complexity. So, if you are in a conflict situation, if you are in a conflict situation, that generate a lot of complexity. So, this is, in my observation, a really good point of lean. And then, but I don't want to overhype lean.
Yeah,
So,
yeah.
no, really, I had a lot of experience. I don't want to overhype it.
Yeah.
And you don't need lean to be corporate. So
yes,
you just from your character, you can be a corporate character. But you have bad contracts in construction, they can force you to work with conflicts. So that this is usual, very usual. And this is the one point, cooperation reduces, for me, complexity in this context. And we worked with a method, it's called last planner method. A production process method, and we used it a lot for planning. And I used it a lot to resolve bottlenecks. Every time when I see a critical chain, a bottleneck, I said, okay, focus on this bottleneck intensively with a lot of resources and with the last planner method. And 4 weeks deep in this, solve it. So this was also the thing where I said lean was useful. With the VSM, I think really great was viewing the 3 main companies as one organizational system. So I said every main company is a system 1. So I have this system 1, and from every main company we have people in the system 3 and system 2 and system 3 star and so on. And and with the VSM, I had the structure to build this system with the necessary functions and information channels which are given by the VSM. So
thank you. Yeah, that's great. Thank you.
I can also answer you second question if you want.
Yeah, brilliant. Thank you.
Yes, with this, I had an engineer who was used to a software. I think it was iModeler or Vensim. I didn't know it exactly now. And he built. I told him, hey, we have to better engineer or better do our meetings. And I told him, make me a plan. What meetings are there and what are the issues and so and this was the starting. This was the starting point. And then you know that I'm interested in cybernetics and system things, and so system dynamics also. and he told me, hey, Michael, we can do a casual loop diagram. So, and I said, yes, okay, let's try this. And then he built it up, a quantitative diagram, and we checked their issues cleared during meetings and the importance of the issues. And this was one point. And the other point was our subjective observation of the importance of the meeting. So I said, this meeting is important. We have there a lot of outcome. There are good people, a lot of decisions. So we have weight it higher. So and we did it at the beginning. We did it a little bit more often, and then then after that we did it every 2 months or every 3 months. So, and then it works. It's stabilized. So then it works. And yes, and I can tell you, I finished the project half a year ahead, and then I was for a short moment really a superstar in my company. So, and then said, Michael, you are so good. You have to do the next bigger project, and you have applicate everything, every fancy stuff you are doing. And then I go to the next project, and the project was absolutely not willing to accept what I want to do. And I can't realize anything of this which I realized before. This also I want to say, really, this is important. I also want, the project was not willing. The people, the culture, the mother houses, the contracts, I was not able to design. So I don't have the freedom of design, much more focus. And I cannot repeat this moment. So yes.
Yeah. No, yeah, quite a few of us. Yeah. Sympathize with your pain on that. Yes. Yeah. Thank you, Michael.
Yes, you're welcome.
Jose, we'll jump to your question. Michael, I think you've touched on this briefly in your answer to my first
Yes.
question. Jose, do you want to ask your question, then Michael, yeah, you respond.
Yeah, well, partially he already answered, because I was making a question about the bottlenecks. The question is you mentioned that every time that you found a bottleneck, you concentrated the efforts, very focused until you solved it. The question was more oriented to how did you use the VSM for that purpose? So what, or was nothing to see with the VSM? It's just a concentration of efforts, forgetting VSM. This is one question. But I will use the opportunity of having the opportunity to speak to make a couple of 2 more questions, so I have to write them. The second question is, you mentioned that you use the system dynamics. You build a system dynamics model for during this project, and if yes, what were the main stocks that you identified, and how the model was used? It was just used to have a conversation helping tool with the people, talking about the stocks, the flows, etc., so they could have a systemic view of the whole thing, or just was a system dynamics model quantified to make estimations of concrete results, etc., etc. This is the second question. And the third question, and I apologize for asking so many questions, the third is related to how did you transduce the VSM to the organization? And were you alone just applying it by yourself and doing things inspired by the VSM approach and just doing it? Or did you train somebody in the organization so they could amplify your knowledge about the VSM to implement it? And this question is also valid for the other 2 colleagues, Carola and Matvei. How that was transduced. That's it.
And
Yeah.
Keep the answers fairly brief.
Sorry
It's
for
okay.
the
No,
density.
that's fine, Jose. Great questions. I just want to honour the fact that we said we'd let you go.
Okay. I
30,
stopped.
so yeah. The
Yeah,
floor's
it's
yours.
perfect. I noted. I noted it. These are the last questions that I can answer, but after that I have to bring my child in bed.
Yeah.
Okay. For question one, it is like you said it, Jose. I didn't use especially the VSM to resolve the bottlenecks. So as I said, we use mainly the last planner system for this. Question two, yes, it's about, I think it's more than 10 years ago. I didn't know it exactly, to be honestly, but it was not like this that we had a model for stock and flows and to had a outcome in case of numbers. So it is more about to have a discussion and to have, for me, a base for decision. So it was more about to the thing that I can decide, okay, this meeting, when you have 20 meetings or 25 meetings in the week, you have to decide which meeting is important and which not, and which I put on which hierarchy. And so this is the second question. And the third question, firstly, I applied it just by myself. And as it works, I talked to the management team, and then we had a workshop where I introduced it. And then it becomes, I don't know the word in English now, selbstständig. Then it goes alone. So it grows a little bit more, but I don't hang it too high. So it was, I think it was one time that I had this VSM chart with me, and somebody asked me, "Hey Michael, what is this?" And then I said, "This is our organization." And so the discussion starts. So it was not like this that we had a consultant who give a kickoff meeting for the top management, or we had a workshop for all the employees, for example, for the management employees, or also for the foremen. The foremen play a really big role on construction sites, and we are not just such sophisticated. So yes, I think the point is that we are a group of people who have to work 3 years together, and when we work totally hard to come to the goal, and when we reach the goal, we go off. And starting from new. So
Okay, then I understand why they consider you a rock star of the company.
just for a really short moment,
Okay.
1 or 2 months.
Thanks very much.
It's worth
yes.
savouring, though. Right.
Yeah.
With the other questions, there's been some Q&A in the chat, so hopefully that's given some traction on those.
I say thank you for listening. I have 3 little child, and my wife has to leave. I have to go.
We'd just like to say on behalf of all of us, to all 3 of you, thank you very much. It's been really great presentations and great Q&A, so thank you very much.
Thank you.
Okay.
It was a pleasure.
Brilliant.
Thank you for listening. My colleagues, I don't know, perhaps they will stay, but I have to go. Thank you for listening.
As we've said, we'd end at 6:30. We'll draw stumps there. Yeah.
Okay.
I'm sure other people have got commitments as well as we. Yeah. Brilliant. Okay. Thank you all very much, particularly you 3. Brilliant. Thank you. Bye-bye. Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.
Thank you. Bye-bye.